Once check.
Yeah.
Okay, stream is going to start. Okay.
Link.
Start. Start.
So, hello everyone. I guess you guys already have good idea about CybSec and NITW by now. We have started sessions for beginners, and our first intro session was done by Ruchira. If in case anyone missed that, you can watch it later on our official YouTube site. So today we'll be demonstrating our second session in which we'll tell you about Linux journey and very basic Linux commands. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let's get started. History of Linux. Linux, computer operating system created in the early 1990s by Finnish software engineer Linus Torvalds and the Free Software Foundation (FSF). While still a student at the University of Helsinki, Torvalds started developing Linux to create a system similar to Minix, a Unix operating system. So, what is Linux? Linux is a Unix like open source and community developed operating system for computers, servers, mainframes, mobile devices, and embedded devices. It is supported on almost every major computer platform, including x86, ARM, and SPARC, making it one of the most widely supported operating systems. Every version of the Linux operating system manages hardware resources, launches and handles applications, and provide some form of user interface. And kernel, this is the core of the system and this sends instructions to the CPU, peripherals, and memory. Now let's go on towards Linux distributions. Primarily, it is distributed in three parts: hardware, kernel, and user space. Hardware. This includes all the hardware that our system runs on, as well as memory, CPU, disk, etc. Linux kernel, we discussed above, it is the core of the operating system. It manages hardware and tells how to interact with the system. User space, this is where users like us will directly interact with the system. Moving on, Debian. What is it? Debian, it's an operating system composed entirely of free and open software. It's widely used and known and has been in development for over 20 years. There are three branches that we can use in this: stable, testing, and unstable. Moving on with Ubuntu, which is one of the most popular Linux distributions for personal machines. Ubuntu also releases its own desktop environment manager, Unity by default. Other distributions of Linux are Kali and Parrot. Parrot is based on Debian with focus on security, privacy, and development. And Kali Linux is Debian derived distribution designed for digital forensics and penetration testing. Now, what are the differences between Linux and Windows? Linux is an open source system, whereas Windows is closed, and Linux is absolutely free, whereas Windows cost $150 to $320. Also, Linux provide live CD distribution, which Windows does not. It is more secure than Windows, as customizable add features are available in Linux, whereas in Windows they are not. So why should we prefer Windows? Why should we prefer Linux over Windows? So these are the points. First major point is that it has open source soft nature that Windows does not. What is it when we buy a car but we cannot see what's under the hood? Similar is the case when we use a Windows powered system. However, in contrast, Linux is completely an open source project. Also, it is very secure and it can revive older computers too. Linux is perfect for programmers as it has variety of distributions, and we all know that Microsoft pushes a software update when it receives a set of problems or if something needs to be fixed. However, with Linux, we observe software updates to address every little bug. So these are the advantages of Linux over Windows. Now for commands demonstration, I would like to call Aishwarya. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. So Tania told you about Linux and its advantages, and I'm going to demonstrate some basic Linux commands. Uh, so we'll start with our first command. Our first command is ls. So it is used to list all the directories and files. As you can see, I have all these directories and files in my laptop. And then what is a directory? A directory is a location for storing all the files in your computer. And then we have the command cd. So cd command is used to open the directory. So cd, I'll open a directory called book. Now we are in this directory called book. Now we have pwd. So pwd is a command for printing the current working directory. So you can see that we are currently working on the directory called book. Now how to make a directory? So for making a directory, we have a command called mkdir. Now after writing this command, we can give the directory any name. Suppose I'm giving it book 3. So now when we check, we have a directory called book 3 inside the directory book. So our next command is touch. Touch is used to create a file without any content. So now if we check by using ls, that we have created a file 2 without any content in it. So there's another command called file. This command is used to determine the type of a file. So if I write file and the file name, we can say that it says that file 2 is empty. Next command is cat. So cat stands for concatenate. This command is used to read the data from the file and gives their content as output. So if I write cat and file, it gives us hello world. So basically, I have hello world content inside this file. So it gives as an output. Then we have a command called less. So less is similar to cat, but when the file is too huge, it gives you a faster access. It doesn't access the whole file, but it does page by page. So basically the output will be same for less, but if you have a too huge file, we use less. Now the next command is history. So if we write history, let's see what happens. It will give you all the commands I did before. Basically, it will give you the list of the commands you used before. Then we have a command called clear. So what does clear do? It clears all the commands I wrote before. Now I'll teach you how to create a file and how to put content in it. So you already know how to create a file. I'll create a file name 3. Now we already created a file which is empty right now. Now to open that file and edit inside it, we use a command called vim file 3. Now as you can see, we have a writing space over here. You can write anything you want. Suppose I'm writing India. Okay. Now to save the edit, just press escape and then colon WQ. Press enter. You'll go to the command line. And now we'll see what we wrote inside our file. As you can see, we wrote India. Now we'll go to the next command called CP. So CP stands for copy. This command is used to copy all the files or the directories. So if I want to copy one content from one file to the other, we use this command. So CP file 3. So now we'll see what is there in file 3. Before it was India, and now we'll see. See, the content of file 3 is changed. First it was India and now it's hello world. So basically it copied the content of file to file 3. Now the next command is MV. So MV stands for move. MV is used for mainly two things. One is to rename a file or a folder, and the other is to move files to different directories and to move one content of a file to other content. Like if I want to move one content of file 1 to file 2, I'll use this command. So I'll demonstrate both of them. So now if we check the name of file 3, it will say file 4. There's no file 3 present in it. It renamed the file. Now if we open file and check, it will say hello world. So basically whatever content was there in file 4, now it's moved to file. So now we'll go to the next command, find command. As the name suggests, find command basically finds some file in the directory if it's present or not. If it's present, it will display the name. If it's not, let's see what happens. So see, if there is no file called file 3, as we rename the file 3, it will show that no file or directory found. Now, if there is a file present, it will display the file name. That's it. And then we have a command called man, which is a short form for manual. So basically what it does is, it gives you all the information about whatever command you need. So if I type man and the command, then I'll get all the information about it. As you can see, these are everything about PWD. Then we have what is. So if you need a small description of a command and what it does, we'll use this command. So as you can see, that cat command concatenate files and prints on the standard output. So as we learned earlier, cat does this. Then we have the remove command, that is rm file. Now if we go back and see that the file is removed. Now there is the last command is exit. So what exit does is, it exits from the terminal. So now for more commands and exercises, there will be 2 links provided. One is Linux Journey and one is Bandit. You can go through that. Thank you.